Move around the map with the Bard, with the Nidalee, find picks, get poked down before the fights, and try to avoid that engage, which is very powerful over on the Immortals side. The Immortals, I'm definitely a fan of ease of execution. That's something that I really do think is important. I think, you know, if you play the flag draft perfectly, it's very hard to do anything about it because they're just outranging you, they're poking you, they're dodging all your engage. But the reality is, games are not played perfectly, right?
Yeah.
And having a lot of easy...
Spear, so that makes the target hunted, and he gets the empowered takedown combined with smite, but all in 2v2 bot side, potentially. Bussio's in trouble, forced to immediately flash, but he popped the ignite, which deters Immortals from continuing further as Masu gets some decent damage. Now Ole is forced to flash away, and Tactical could be next. Pops the barrier as well, and Masu just might go all in on this one. Pops the cleanse, flashes backwards, and it's first blood going to Masu, but Tactical might try and follow Busio over the wall. This guy anymore. This guy's flaming me on air.
Also not good in solo queue.
Come on, man. Well, during all this time, Immortals are taking the second rotation of Grubs, and the Dragon is still taking about 20. No. It's like at least close to 0%.
Close to 0%. It's not
Engage onto Busio. Glacial Prison hits him. The arrow connects as well, and he tries to go through the magical journey, but he's getting interrupted by Armeo. He can't walk through the Pig Rider, and Mask will pick up the kill. And now Inspired, he's deciding whether he wants to contest for the objective with the amount of CC on the side of Immortals. There's no way that he's going back in that pit. Immortals taking the second dragon of the...
Working towards that could be quite nice.
Whoa! Flash Zenith Blade from Faga and Ole, and they land it all on Inspired, but he's got the pounce, but now he has to deal with Castle's Gnar, who's running him down.
Oh, I'm seeing a lot of hashtag ad. I'm seeing a lot of COD.
Oh my god.
Rafa's been outed here. And he didn't even... Whip was going to push top, and they're just going to give it.
Immortals are now on Soul Point, Azael. Hashtag say something positive about Immortals challenge. I'm trying my best. Now, 3-man dive onto Castle potentially, but the arrow is good. It's right onto Quad, and he slams him into the wall. Castle with the Minganar ulti, but the all-out from Bwipo is now going to isolate him, and he's running to the safety of his comrades. Tempered Fate will stall Armeo, but not Castle, which is perfect from Busio, as that allows him to get the isolated kill on the top lane of Immortals.
Who apparently is their toughest scrim competition.
That part is crazy to me.
That is crazy to me. That was surprising because, yeah, they stomped them. That was the first series of the game here for Immortals. 2 minutes until potential soul. Quad and Busio trying to look to chase him down.
They know that Armeo doesn't have flash, so they're trying to maintain the chase. A deep teleport is coming in for FlyQuest as well, and Armeo already recognizes that he is doomed to die, so he does not want to hold the rest of his team liable. But Quad is now looking to join the rest of FlyQuest as the Tempered Fate will lock down Ole. Busio gets the Cosmic Chime or Binding down for the slow.
Yeah, I feel like surely you need to test here. And there's
a teleport. Yeah, Castle almost at full rage, so he can get a really nice Gnar ulti. Mask goes in. Emperor's Divide on the left side. Can Castle get in there? But he whiffs! The rest of FlyQuest now just have to play survival. It's 1400 HP on the Baron. Who's gonna get it? Immortals! Wait, was that Masu? How did Masu get the Baron?
Over the wall? He actually got it over the wall. He wasn't dead. He was.
Let that be the focus for this fight.
And Castle has no Gnar bar, so he's really got to try to charge this up, but he's getting very low. The poke is brutal.
Mask goes in, and Ole is leading up with the charge as well. Tempered Fate buys some time on the backline. Busio's chunked out of the fight, but he goes over the wall with Magical Journey. Quad forced to flash as well. 2k HP on the Dragon. It is secured for FlyQuest. Castle about to go Mega, but he can't get in range. He's too low. And Busio, how did he dodge it from the portal? That is crazy.
Yeah, he gets into the portal, and then once you're traveling, you are immune. He did force out the flash from Bwipo, but once the channel completes, you are immune to damage. The channel completes there. We are back to live.
Yeah, and Castle just sniped off Busio. The arrow hits Quad. He doesn't have flash. The rest of Immortals charge on in and laid down the CC follow-up. Another kill for Immortals. Masu could be next as he tries to stand on the blast cone, and Arcane shifts away. But the rest of Immortals are going to look to... Oh! True shot barrage hits! And a FlyQuest Tempered Fate does not hit Tactical, but it just zones him away from defending the tier 2. Castle will not have it for the remainder once they try to fight the actual Dragon, and Bwipo chases him off. Quad was hit by the Glacial Prism, but gets out. Nice third Q strike from Bwipo. It finds Mask, and the Tempered Fate is beautiful. FlyQuest just found a massive fight on an Immortals, and this could be game.
Yeah, it looks like it just might be. FlyQuest decimate the fight. The poking, the prodding, they forced out every cooldown from Immortals for nothing. The Glacial Prison came out. The Meganar was already used. FlyQuest crushed the fight, pushed forward. They're looking to take the game.
It was an impressive early game showing for Immortals, but FlyQuest find the one fight that they need to end the game, and they're going to take it all the way through the Nexus. FlyQuest, even after break, showing that they are not missing a beat as they take game one from Immortals.
After a little bit more of padding the stats here, this was honestly such a strong game there from Masu. He played it out very, very well. FlyQuest, though, honestly, not looking bad.
Look at last game. He's going to be able to farm damage off that Scion pretty much the entire side lane game. It also balances the AD for the team comp. So another solid-looking draft for Immortals. And
they're going to scout. They see that the jungler is not there on that side of the map. It is cleared up, so we'll see. Armeo likely to start this one out.
Armeo engages with the Winter's Wrath, immediate flash by Whippo, and Armeo walks it out. Just one more auto attack from Castle, and clean dive only at the cost of one. Barely spawned, or they will spawn now. So this is really strong tempo from FlyQuest. I don't know if they'll have a chance to contest for Grubs right away since they're down to flash on Whippo and Castle's already here, but at least this makes it so that the Dragon stacking is a lot earlier for FlyQuest.
Yeah, absolutely. They got a really fast first Dragon. Armeo is just going to take that second one. They hear the Scion ulti. They say, you know what? You can have one. So they will back it off.
Nice.
That ward, unfortunately, was never spotted by Armeo. You're not really at a high risk of being dove here.
Now, Whippo might be in trouble.
No ult.
Armeo is here for the play, and he flashes away. He's going to try to get away from Castle, but with the Hyper Proc passive, he gets movement speed from it, and Whippo is getting run into Immortals' own jungle, so it doesn't look like Whippo's going to get out of this one. It will just be an eventual kill. Now, you just got to be careful about once put... Ooh, okay. Got to be careful about the teleport in case he is called towards the top side of the fight. Still has Mega Inferno Bomb, but Whippo's going to stop him from getting a chance to recall. Meanwhile, Mask teleported to the top river to help with these grubs. Doesn't look like FlyQuest is going to get any of them away from Immortals. That should be all three of them going for a total of 5.
Yeah, it's looking good. They're going to be able to get the first 2 off the initial grub spawn.
Can't get into the pit and stall the Rift Herald take. The second dragon is getting burned down by Inspired on the flip side of the map. I don't think there's going to be any chance for a contest from FlyQuest to stop Immortals from taking this Rift Herald, so it's just another exchange of neutral objectives. The second dragon, hang on. Whippo's coming in with the ulti. It is smited by Armeo, but
didn't get the ult as it was picked up there by Mask, so going to be able to finish this off. One more auto will do it, and that is first tower, actually 15 minutes and 30 seconds.
Whippo cannot get strong enough to withstand Castle in the side lane, then FlyQuest are going to have to start forcing unfavorable fights.
They are so nice, especially if you can get the double grub spawn, if you can get actually all 6, but 5 and a Herald is a lot of early gold.
That's a flash from Mask, but the Temper Fate will land if Whippo can get in range to look for a Q, but Ole is doing everything he can to buy time for Mask to get out, but the Pyroclasm lands anyway. They managed to trade one back onto Busio, but it's
incredibly low.
Yeah. Ole and Mask are going to try and catch the wave after, but yeah, that turret should be falling in favor of FlyQuest.
Well, they're trying to rush this dragon, so we'll see if they can make it happen.
5k HP on the dragon. Inspired steps up. 4k. Glacial Prison goes wide. Doesn't hit Inspired. Hits Busio instead. They're going to turn right onto Mask and Brute Force through the front. Mask gets picked off. Tempered Fade right onto Armeo. Castle is bullied off of the fight, and he's about to go Mega, but it's a little too late now since Immortals don't have any other members that can really follow up as Inspired smites the dragon, and Castle is pushed back into the corner. Gets one Gnar ulti off and will at least delay the inevitable death from his side, but FlyQuest just making it look so easy to win this fight.
Man, FlyQuest are
taking their recall for now, and they should be able to get redeploy on the map as Armeo forced to flash, Q's over the wall to safety, but now down to Summoner Spell. Ole caught in the middle of all 5 members. Super Mega Inferno Bomb, decent damage down and Inspired, but Ole still falls. Castle looks for the ulti, but Flash by Quad dodges it. Now Castle's in trouble. Mask trying to fire over the wall. Maybe he can find one onto Inspired, but the Tempered Freight from Busio will save his jungler for now. Tactical is forced to flash in to decimate the jungler of FlyQuest, but now Tactical is overextended and he's in trouble. And the Cosmic Binding sets up another kill for Tactical as Armeo tries to come over to the wall to bail out his bot laner. Tactical is able to Sapphire Charge over. This is such a scrappy, a messy fight, but FlyQuest are still running the show.
Yeah, Tactical trying to run for it. We'll see if he can get out of there. He's going to be able to Hexgate back.
Are currently burning down the Baron, but they're ready to turn since Quad and Busio are already looping around through the right lip of that pit. And Castle is about to go Mega. trying to hunt down Bwipo. Glacial Prison goes really wide. Tactical zoned out of the fight. He doesn't have flash, so it's not safe for him to step up. He has to go back around that other wall as Bwipo zones off Castle. Temper Fate is huge onto the backline for 2 members. Cosmic Binding forces Mask to Valkyrie away. Masu still maintaining position in the mid. Ole finds a member onto Masu, but forces him to flash away. Busio able to magical journey out, and now they're repositioning for the fight. Bwipo steps up alongside Inspired. Massive damage. The Pyroclasm is going to do so much work. Look at the health bars dropping, and Quad comes in for the resets. Goomba stopping every single one.
With his own ulti, gets out to safety. Warmog's back to full, rejoins, and FlyQuest take over the fight. Inspired got so much damage done across of all of Immortals, and this has got to be pretty much lights out for this one. They're going to base. We'll see if they can actually get out to the Dragon to try to fight back to a fight for Soul.
Dragon is aggroed. Bwipo leading the charge against Armeo. Castle looping around on the left side, has Mega Gnar starting to build up. Inspired sees him on the ward, tries to zone him out. Castle about to go Mega. 7,000 HP in the Dragon Pit, 5K. Busio looking for an angle with the Tempered Fate. 2K HP. Armeo trying to burn this dragon down. Tempered Fate goes in, but Armeo gets the smite. Castle whiffs the ulti on Inspired, but as you called out, Quad is just destroying the inhibitor in the mid lane. And FlyQuest, if they can stop the ports, they can just look to end the game. The arrow doesn't hit. Tactical gets out. The TP saves Immortals' game and their base from crumbling, but FlyQuest are still going to look to hunt down more members from Immortals as they try to turn onto Masu under the tower. It's a good pick from Immortals, but they lose Ole in the process. Bwipo still leading the charge, looking for Mask. They know that he doesn't have flash. Quad jumps in. Glacial Prison is great for Armeo. Mask is still surviving. The explosive charge finally takes him down with the help of Inspired, but Busio and Bwipo are super deep in between these 2 towers, and FlyQuest have overextended their welcome since Tactical is now here to join the fight and will push Bwipo off.
Man, FlyQuest are just diving.
Diff is Bwipo already transitioning his power from mid into the jungle, and they might pick off Armeo here. He has flash, but the CC layering does not give him a chance to get out, and Castle could be next. Bwipo stepping up. The Q is interrupted by Castle's wallop. He walks out. He has the flash. One, since Immortals had such a huge lead, and it seemed like that game could have easily been won by them, as Armeo tanks up the initial CC. Oh, wow, the Onslaught of Shadows, or Bwipo's ulti, gets in there, and goodbye, Mask. He is done for. Ole is going to be next. Quad getting the resets as Masu picks up another kill. Inspired just zoning off Armeo, forcing him to flash, while the rest of FlyQuest just run down the rest of Immortals. About to be a 5-for-0 ace. FlyQuest, I mean, what can else we say, Azale? This was the expected outcome. Immortals had a decent look in the early game, but FlyQuest just showing up as the better team.
Yeah, I mean, you can see Inspired and Bwipo laughing it up on the player cams, feeling good about this one. FlyQuest are going to take the 2-0 over Immortals.
And overall, and Bwipo for the interview.
Thanks, guys. I'm here with Bwipo. I just heard you said, oh, that was funny. What is this referring to?
No, it's like when I looked at Corky's build, I knew that he dealt no damage to me, and then he hit me with the rapid fire cannon, and it did like 2% of my health. And then he like walked up to follow up on the Sejuani, and I just thought it was hilarious because he thought I wouldn't ult him or something. Like, I don't know. I just knew I won the game instantly when he tried to follow up on that. I didn't even know what it was. I just thought it was hilarious. Like, it's a bit mean, obviously. You put me on the spot here because obviously, yeah, let me put it this way. People getting paid to play like that, I'm not a fan of it.
I appreciate the honesty. A 2-0 on the day. However, Game 1 did look a little shaky. How did you guys clean things up in between Game 1 and Game 2 to have a solid Game 2?
Honestly, I think that we had a much easier composition. You know, we have a big mean Sion, face checking everything, and it makes it a lot easier to play range support. I also had a lot of priority in my lane. Not sure why, honestly. I'd have to review as to why I could move so often, but I think me and Inspired connected really well in the game, and he identified super well that Sion moving was important, so they kind of ignored Castle and let Brand bully him out of the side lane, and then when I had moves, it was really easy to face check and play together, so I think it was just a compositional difference. With the poke comp that we were playing in Game 1, I don't feel like we were too comfortable poking before the first 3 Drakes, and as a result, we kind of had to give them. But then we really turned it on for the last Drake, and I'm really impressed by my team. I think that was a really good comeback.
Yeah, it still is a 2-0 at the end of the day, and you guys did lose the first game, the first series of the season to Team Liquid, but you're undefeated since then. So what have you been working on since the start of the season, and maybe even more importantly during the break of LCS?
I think for the most part, it's like identifying everyone's responsibility in the game. I think that's something that we've done really well. I think especially Mithy has done fantastic work with Alan, with Busio. I think he's really coming together as an excellent player, and I think that same for Masu, like teaching some of that discipline, and he's looked fantastic. So I think our bot lanes really enjoyed some of the extra time with Mithy, and I think it really shows. They're fantastic players individually, and now they're kind of finding their role within a competitive League of Legends game, but also within our team. And as a result, I think they're playing phenomenally. And I've kind of just, I've just been working on making sure that I'm on top of the meta and try to find, room and space for people to grow into themselves. For me, it's really important that I support our North American talent and make sure that people know that it's still worth investing in the region.
That's great to hear. And sorry for putting you on the spot, but I was having this conversation earlier. You guys were the unanimous favorites to win the spring championship like a couple days beforehand. And then I feel like perception-wise, you took a big dive with the offseason and what happened in MSI. But now, like, your opinion, being with the team every day, scrimming in every day, that like semifinal going into finals FlyQuest power level versus your power level now, what do you think the comparison is between the two?
I think my individual performance was a lot stronger at that point in spring, and I think that one of the big reasons why we kind of like shit the bed in finals is because I had a hard time dealing with my own anxiety. It's something that I never actually knew I had, but it makes sense that every time I played the finals in my career, a lot of the time I kind of choked, and I get a lot more anxious when it's like a really important finals game or a really important game, and identifying that that's actually a recurring theme and that isn't just me getting unlucky in finals was really a huge step for myself. Yeah. So I kind of had to bite the bullet there, and that's as a result why I think, after so many years of playing competitively, having to admit that I was a big problem as to why I never won a championship was really tough on me. Wow. But I tried to just keep my chin up and practice hard, and like I mentioned, like I want to support my team and do everything I can to support my team and kind of work through that issue myself. As to your question, because I think that context is really important for what we did and what our power level is, I think we're way better because I think when I'm on as a player, I can do a lot of work and a lot of people's worth of work on the map. But when I'm off, or I'm like really stressing or like really anxious for whatever reason, that suddenly stops. So all of that pressure, all of that presence on the map disappears. And as a result, I think my team gets confused because like they're so used to me, like, being wide whippo, running around, like the silent game, for example, I'm walking around everywhere and no one can stop me. And they're so used to that from playing so much that like when I'm off, it's a huge difference. I think that's why a lot of fans also consider me very inconsistent, which is true. In that sense, where when I have a good game, it's like very noticeable I'm on the Summoner's Rift, and when I'm having a bad game, you might want a different top laner. So I'm just trying to figure out how to make sure that I keep a more consistent amount of output, and I tell everyone like, hey, this is me doing more than what is supposed to come out of my champion. I'm just like finding the angle, or I just know what's going on.
Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing that. Are you comfortable sharing kind of how you came? It almost sounds like a revelation. Like, how did you come to this conclusion during the break and so far in the season?
So I work with a therapist, and he's fantastic. His name's Bowen. You probably know him from the LCSPA. Yeah, he's fantastic. And just being able to talk through my entire career, everything that's happened, also my own personal life, and identifying some of struggles I had growing as a person. I'm 25 now. I was a 19-year-old kid. Like a 19-year-old kid, like I was 19, 20, 21, and that's like the three spiciest years of my career, right? Like that was 2018 to 2020. I didn't have time to think about what anxiety was. I was busy prepping for Worlds, it's all like, playing final after final. Like I feel like back then there was no room for that, and I just want to shout out, my teammates back in Fnatic and the people that worked with me that like, they never made me doubt for a second. And, I've come to really be grateful for my time there and what I've been able to accomplish since then. And, like now that I look back at it, obviously, it's easier to look at yourself in a good light and like, oh, I was a great player, I did all this, but I definitely had a lot of room to grow still. And I just came to understand that, I came to understand that as a person, I really didn't get very far. As a professional player, I was a big deal, but as an actual person, human being on planet Earth, I was a 19-year-old kid all along, I was still that 19-year-old kid all those years, and I feel like I've really grown as a person.
Wow. Well, thank you so much for the interview. I really appreciate it as well. Some applause from your team as well. Post game as well. It's not like you got a whole bunch of time to think about this. So congratulations on the win. Best of luck in the rest of the season and also on everything else. So great talking to you, Bippo. We're going to send it back to the desk.
Thank you, Jat. That was such a really nice interview.
That was my favorite interview of the year.
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah. Like he really opened up. I know also personally struggling with anxiety.